Hi, Oscar. Nice to see you here.
Good to see you, Vahram.
So, how is the conference to you? How do you like it?
It's a fantastic gathering of unique, open-minded, creative individuals working on exploring society
Yeah.
and how we can create new versions of it.
What is the network state to you, and what are all these establishments to you, like pop-up villages, private cities, charter cities, new country concepts? I mean, what are they to you?
They're the embodiment of a new society, designing places and the constructs with how humans live with today's level of abundance instead of yesterday's level of scarcity.
Wonderful. What is your personal commitment to this ecosystem? What have you been up to that relates to this ecosystem?
Okay, over the last 3 years, myself and a collective of individuals focused on this mission of understanding how society works right now, how we live, how we collaborate, the structures and the systems that allow us to survive: water, food, energy, human systems. And in the last 2 years, we have been developing tools that facilitate people who are starting new eco-villages, charter cities, startup cities, network state countries, eventually, to have a higher success rate, where traditionally it's a 90% failure rate.
Since you come from Colombia, my question, because I lived in your beautiful country and I somehow understand how the Colombian society works and how it functions, how do you see the reintegration process organized through a network state platform? Like for example, your government, Colombian government, has been trying, I mean, this transition, this peace process, transitional justice, everything. But in the end of the day, it hasn't worked so far.
Right.
So how do you see the ex-rebels, paramilitary groups, FARC, ELN, people still who operate within those, I mean, organizations? How do you see a Colombian network state, or at least a peace process network state, working on that in that dimension? How do you see it can help to heal the Colombian society?
So it's a tricky one. I don't think the old construct will ever improve. Again, it's a system built on a foundation of scarcity and fear, and investing energy to change it, fight it, is futile. The energies in the way this space is manifesting and in the way our project is manifesting is to create new systems based on abundance, based on today's technologies and communication standards that will make those systems obsolete and will lead to people opting out of that system, adopting the new system, leading to those old systems to fall by the wayside, just like tech.
So when we talk about those systems and technology, so imagine the projection of those systems and technology to the remote areas of Colombia. How do you see the bridging of this gap? Because people living there, I'm someone who lived in Mistrato. It's a remote town in Risaralda department in Colombia. Right, and I also was teaching English in San Antonio del Chamich, even more remote. So how do you see people living there who are, I mean, working hard, to sustain themselves, to survive actually. Getting these new paradigms into their lives.
Right.
I mean, this is the most challenging things, and this is where politics has been failing so far. So how do you see the solution to it?
Politics are never the answer. It's education. Again, an education system based on new paradigms. Not the current education system that is intended to create drones or knowledge slave workers, but an education system that allows people to explore creativity, self-learn, be peer-led in their learning, and leverage new tools like AI, like different forms of simple programming that is human language based to process all the data needed and curate it specifically for that recipient. Each human is different, and an education program like this that allows each person to explore their unique learning style is critical in the process for mass adoption and to make actual change.
Wonderful. Oscar, the last question. What's your message to the people in this ecosystem who are building something, who still try to do something or who dream of building something?
Yeah. The message is to be aware of the constructs that keep everyone attached to the current model. Call it the matrix, call it whatever you'd like. And realize how much of that we need to deconstruct to get to the foundations and establish solid foundations. Again, not on scarcity, not on fear, instead on abundance and compassion and love, and build from there. And ideally, to have a repository of best practices that allow you to create systems unique to each individual and collective that, albeit unique to each other, have some form of integrated communication standard that allow that pod to exist and allow pods to interact with each other effectively to exchange resources.
Perfect. Good luck and thank you, Oscar.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.